How do you cope with a world that despises you? Do you conform to their perception of you, or do you battle with unwavering determination to prove them wrong? Such is the plight of the Tieflings. Welcome to the first video in a series where we will be diving into the characteristics of each of the races of Baldur's Gate 3. This video will be presented through the lens of the game, and we will discuss who these races are in the greater context of the Dungeons & Dragons mythos, and what to consider when playing a character of this race. I'd love to discuss any of the plot points down in the comments after the video, and let me know how you played your Tiefling in Baldur's Gate 3. So navigating a world that seems to harbour resentment or hostility towards you can be an impossible task. It often leaves one grappling with a profound dilemma. Should you succumb to the expectations and stereotypes that society may have imposed on you? Or should you summon every ounce of your inner strength and resolve to challenge those misconceptions? Conforming to the image that others may have of you might seem like the path of least resistance. Living a life of lies, deception, and crime may lead to an acceptance of a kind. Acceptance of who you've been told you are. Acceptance by others like you. But never more than that. While you do not have to pretend you are something you are not, this path leads to a slow fracturing of your soul, one evil act at a time, until all you have left is your sins, your devilish god, and no path to redemption. Choosing to defy the stereotypes and misconceptions that surround you can be a courageous and empowering endeavor. It requires you to stand firm in your truth and values, to rise above the judgment, and to prove that you are not defined by the preconceived notions of others. But even this path is fraught with loss, a loss of self, always pretending you are larger than life and infallible. Being ever vigilant because one misstep off the broken glass beneath your feet will undo everything you have worked for. And while you may push through the obstacles, break down barriers, and re-educate those around you to alter their perceptions, you will never be one of them. The tale of the Tieflings begins in the early days of Dungeons & Dragons. Tieflings made their first appearance in the 2nd edition of D&D. Their backstory was mysterious and complex, involving dark pacts, curses, and tainted lineages. Players were drawn to their intriguing narratives and unique abilities. As D&D evolved though, so did the lore surrounding Tieflings. And by 5th edition they gained a more detailed backstory, including their origins in the blood war between devils and demons. They were no longer solely the result of dark bargains, but could also be born, and the introduction of various sub-races and unique lineages began to emerge. Their narrative versatility allowed players to craft a wide range of intriguing characters, from heroes to anti-heroes. So let's look at why this beloved race is the way that it is. While the vast majority of the Tieflings alive today appear to be similar, there was a point long before the cataclysmic spell plague of the year 1385 Dale Reckoning that a wide variety of Tieflings existed. While they never had a population large enough to rival that of many of the other races, they were numerous and incredibly varied. Tieflings are inherently victims of a curse. This is no simple curse. It is the curse of the very blood that flows through their veins, changing them and all their future generations. This curse comes in many forms and has been used many times in the past. This is the main factor that varied the Tieflings' appearances so widely. The entity, be it diabolical or demonic in nature, that instilled this curse was the main factor that determined how it would manifest in the Tiefling. This could be anything from the skin tone being a red, blue, or green hue, all the way to goat-like legs and bat-like wings. There is one dominant variant of the Tiefling that we know, however, and that is the Asmodeus Tiefling. Their eyes, which lack distinct features, come in solid shades of black, red, white, silver, or gold, set against skin that spans the spectrum from a typical human tone to the fiery, hellish reds. Prominent horns exhibit diverse shapes, some coiling to the sides, others spiraling up to the skies. Long and robust tails paired with pointed teeth resembling those of vampires completed their unique attributes. Now the question is, why are they the dominant variety? During the events of the spell plague I mentioned earlier, of which details are far beyond the scope of this video, we know of a group of warlocks, worshippers of Asmodeus, who wished for their patron to become a god in truth, and moreover, the racial god of all Tieflings. While the details are hazy, we know a ritual was performed, a ritual to imbue all Tieflings on Toril, regardless of ancestry, with the blood of Asmodeus. This ritual by itself did not complete the task though, and years later when the Supreme Master of the Nine Hells schemed and eventually ascended to true godhood, the ritual took hold, and all those of his blood were then transformed to resemble their god whose blood they shared. The variety of Tieflings was ended, and while hundreds of years later we are beginning to see the emergence of other bloodlines again from the various archdevils such as Zariel and Mephistopheles, the vast majority of Tieflings still share Asmodeus' hellish appearance. A few lucky Tiefling though go their entire lives or even generations with barely a hint of hellish features, thinking themselves to be completely human. For most, however, their lives are not a happy story. If they manage to survive the first few minutes of their life, they would be luckier than most, killed by ignorant parents thinking they have given birth to a red-skinned monster, completely oblivious of their own ancestry. Subjected to disdain and frequently facing prejudice in their everyday existence, many Tiefling resort to extremes in response to that immense pressure. Some conform to negative stereotype imposed by the other races, stealing, killing, and embracing the inner darkness they feel, while others strive vehemently to dispel any notions of innate evil nature by embracing roles as paladins or clerics devoted to good aligned gods, even going so far as to dye their horns white, wearing chains of silver and filing their teeth to hide their devilish appearance. Although of devilish descent, they don't inherently lean towards a particular alignment, being essentially human in nature. They encompass a wide spectrum of potential dispositions, taking it upon themselves to embody what they believe heart and soul. Like humans, they do not live long lives, longer, but not by much. Their hearts still yearn for the connection mortality craves. However, they, more than anyone, are distrustful of their fellow Tieflings, for who would better know and understand the pressures and temptations they go through on a daily basis? If they find love though, they love fiercely, their shared trauma forging an unbreakable connection. They would kill for each other and their family. If they were to find love with another race though, the blood curse would ensure their offspring would always be a Tiefling, discouraging any interracial connections. Half-orcs, also victims of prejudice at the hands of the other races, often became close companions of the Tieflings, and vice versa, each understanding some of the suffering the other race endured. They had many natural abilities, some rare and some horrific, but the ones most shared included the innate ability to see a limited distance in darkness, the resistance to elements depending on their bloodline, and the ability to understand the infernal language from birth without ever hearing a word of it spoken. Some Tieflings exhibit much rarer traits, such as the absence of a shadow or reflection, unusual body temperatures, and the ability to harm living plants with their touch. Though a small percentage may experience less advantageous side effects, like vulnerability to holy water, sunlight, or even suffering through hellish nightmares. Populations of Tieflings have been found all across the known lands of Toril and beyond. Being the descendants of devils and demons, they were and are still used as soldiers in the Blood Wars, the never-ending struggle between the forces of the Nine Hells and the infinite layers of the Abyss. It was in the early days of the wars that the struggling forces realized they could recruit mortals for their fight. They seduced and manipulated them, and this was the birth of many crossbreeds, Tiefling among them. This was only one of the torments the Tiefling endured though, as many also suffered under the cruel and sadistic Red Wizards of Thay, masters of magic, specifically demonology and necromancy, enslaved and used as assassins, soldiers, or spies. Countless Tieflings died, and it took the coming of the necromancer Zaz Tam to drive the Tieflings from the region. It is not all dark though. In the modern era, the Tiefling have found homes among the Dragonborn of Timantha, who are especially welcoming of other races, and in the cosmopolitan melting pot of Baldur's Gate, where they are grudgingly accepted. While their numbers are growing, there was never any attempts to create a city or true home for themselves. Hated and feared by many of the mortal races, they knew it was folly to try, as they would be targeted for destruction long before the foundations were even finished. As a result, they have no racial culture of their own, preferring to live among the other races, although it means a life of difficulty. In the tapestry of the greater multiverse, Tieflings stand as a testament to the struggle for identity and acceptance. Whether navigating the treacherous path of conformity or bravely defying preconceived notions, their journey is one of profound complexity. The tale of the Tiefling weaves a narrative as diverse as the race itself, from mysterious origins entangled in dark pacts and curses, to the present-day dominance of the Asmodeus Tieflings. Their evolution mirrors the ever-changing landscape of the realms they inhabit. Faced with prejudice, some embrace the shadows, while others strive to be beacons of light. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, or if you'd like to see more lore videos on the channel, make sure you like and subscribe and watch out for the next one. Until then, see ya.